What is up, everyone? Peacemaker here. Today we're going to be talking about the HLTV Awards 2024, the amazing event that took place in Belgrade, Serbia, this Saturday, right? And if you missed it, please go and rewatch it because it was a hell of a show. And, well, there was plenty of legends present, a lot of personalities, and there was a lot of awards. And today we will be checking if there was anything controversial or maybe any surprises with the awards. So let's go straight to it. We can start with the HLTV Community Awards 2024 winners. And to begin with, we're going to be talking about the talent of the year, which was James Banks with 24% of the votes. We had Sponge, second place, and Scrawny. I mean, honestly, between these three, anyone could have won, to be honest. They're all really, really talented, but, you know, Banks did 23 events this year, across his roles as a stage host, interviewer, desk host. The man does it all, and it's totally deserved, right? Super, super talented, always really, really entertaining. I love his interviews. He's a very, funny guy as well. A very nice guy to be around, and honestly, I had the pleasure to work with all of them. Not only these three, but the rest of the talents as well. And they're all really, really good humans, and extremely, hard workers. They know their stuff, and I was actually really impressed by the amount of work that they put into being entertaining for the community. So congrats to Banks, and hopefully new names for this year. Event of the year, we had Shanghai Major. This one surprised me a little bit because, honestly, 38% of the votes, by the way, against 22% of the votes for Major in Copenhagen and IEM Katowice 2024. I mean, pretty obvious that IEM Katowice wouldn't won simply because it doesn't have it does have the prestige of a major, but it's not a major. So, guess it makes sense. But at the end of the day, I think that the audience, like the live audience in Copenhagen, gave it, a better atmosphere for the teams, for the event itself, and for the people watching at home. I personally enjoyed both of them, but I guess it's like a cultural thing that Chinese people are not really like energetic, bringing the hype and all that kind of stuff during the games. So they're quiet for a majority of the time. In the meantime, we had, a massive crowd in Copenhagen making a lot of noise and drums and all the kind of crazy stuff. So I think Copenhagen delivered in that aspect a bit more. But Shanghai Major had audience in not only, at the playoffs. So I guess it makes sense, right? It makes sense. But I could have easily chosen Copenhagen based on the factors that I already mentioned. But, at the end of the day, congrats to Perfect Road. Also deserved. Streamer of the year, 1Pixel, no question about it. The man is a legend, puts a lot of work, broadcasts a lot of games, is entertaining, is a funny guy, he's a very nice guy. I actually haven't met him yet in person, but for being a German streamer, I think he's hell entertaining. And yeah, completely deserved. I also really like Flom. I haven't watched Dima Warhacks that much, but I really like Flom as well. I think he's a very funny guy. But 1Pixel, he just puts a lot of work, right? He's totally deserved. Probably one of the best out there nowadays. And then Creator of the Year. This one left me with a bitter taste, to be honest. I personally, yes, any of them could have won. But personally, I think that V-Hit deserved it a lot. I really like his highlight videos. I think he's very smart on the way that he does it. And then Nate King is very creative with his content, right? He doesn't post as many videos as the next two, but still, like the creativity, the man has won, this title before. I just think it would be refreshing maybe to see another name winning the title, and maybe it would inspire other creators to believe that they could actually win themselves. I mean, I personally would have chosen V-Hit, period. But yeah, I can take Nate King 100%. And 3K Licks Philip also 13% of the votes, really close to V-Hit, and Nate King with 15%. So it was really, really close decision. Skin of the year, to wrap it up, AK-47 Inheritance with 36% of the votes. This one was pretty good, right? Very good. AK and Zeus in second place. That actually surprises me. I would have personally chosen the M4A1S Black Lotus, but whatever. Really cool skin. Actually, I have it in my inventory, and if you don't have them, I recommend you get all three of them because they look really, really nice. And yeah, let's continue. Then we have All-Star Team of the Year, and we're going to go through each one of the awards, right? So to begin with, the man himself, Donk, with the opener of the year. And I mean, there is a big disparity between Nico, Elige, and Donk. If you're curious, go on HLTV.org and search for the stats between all these three. And if you check, Donk was the best in terms of like opening stats versus success win rate in as opener, and by far, honestly, by a large margin between Nico and Elige. And it's going to be really challenging for Nico and Elige to, beat Donk in the coming years. I think the man is just different. It's just built different in terms of like the aggressive way that he does it, the way that he does it, the amount of success that he has. He's just really, really good in terms of his mechanics and just the way that he does it. So totally deserved. Closer of the year. I mean, closer of the year means, the lurkers and people that often decides the rounds, clutches, and all of that kind of stuff. And JL has definitely won a lot of clutches throughout this year. Monesi has won a lot as well, but he doesn't play on the side. So between Bit and Jim Pat, honestly, I think that Bit could have been the closer of the year, but I think he's way better as an anchor than he is as a closer. So in my eyes, totally deserved for JL, in my opinion. Also, the fact that he won a major MVP and, a lot of his highlights and a lot of like the rounds that he won and that he helped his team to win that major was actually winning a lot of clutches and closing out rounds and being a really good lurker. So yeah, totally deserved. Anchor of the year, Bit. Obviously, like he's been year after year getting better and better in that role. For me, he's the best in the world. Not only that, but mechanically, I also think the Bit is one of the best players in the world. Really skilled, really smart, rarely commits mistakes, and just a very, very solid anchor, right? One of the best in the world. And then Jim Pat was the second guy, and Zontix is third. Could have been Magic's in this one as well, right? Instead of Zontix, but whatever. Opera of the year, this one, if you watch my last video here at the SkinClub YouTube, you know that I chose Monesi 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, and no surprises. Monesi picked up the op way more, was way more consistent throughout 2024, completely deserved for sure. IGL of the year, I mean, what a roller coaster has been Alexib's career, right? From being kicked out of ends, from being questioned at G2, from being questioned as a whole as an IGL, and then joining Navi, and man, he has grown a lot under Blade as a coach, who definitely helped him a lot. And I remember an interview that happened on HLTV TV where Blade was actually talking about that Alexib wasn't really ready yet as an IGL, that he had to get better in a lot of aspects. And yeah, I mean, the man has won IGL of the year against Chopper and Kerrigan, and now he has become one of the best IGLs of all time. So pretty insane what Alexib was able to accomplish in this year. Also, the consistency that he found for Navi as a team and for him as an IGL as well. Yeah, really, really deserved. Coach of the year, couldn't be anyone else. Blade himself, the coach of Navi. And between these three guys, like I think that they all have something in common, which is their ability to develop young players. And I think that is the reason why all three of them deserve to be in this award for sure. Blade has just won more events and has been more consistency. Has found more consistency than these other two guys, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Cyclone becomes one of the best coaches in the world at some point. Same goes for Halley. They are all really, really good coaches. Highlight of the year was Donk. Honestly, this one could have been JL in my opinion. Nico was at Blast in a not really an important round against Big, not really in an important match as well. JL was really important, could have been chosen, but Donk has win it all, right? One of you 5 aced at the major was insane to watch, right? Also because the match was really really important as well. But honestly, could have been JL. Could have been JL. And then you have the All-Star team, right? All the awards. And then towards the end, we had Navi named Team of the Year, and we had the female achievements. Navi named Team of the Year, no surprises, right? Has won the major in Copenhagen, has won plenty of events, has been the most consistent, and other nominees, we had G2 in the second place, Spirit in third place. Yeah, Spirit won the major at the end of the year, but man, they have been really, really inconsistent this year, right? From being, from even considering roster changes in the middle of the season, there was a lot of rumors about, them replacing players. Donk really, you could just see that, at the middle of the year and after the first player break, there was something disconnected in this roster. And the fact that they managed to, regroup and actually win a major at the end of the year was impressive. And Donk, started to play better and better and achieved peak performance at the right timing again. At the major, has won the MVP and all of that, but G2 has been more consistent. So I agree with this one. And then female, it's amazing, right? To see the women's winning achievements, being recognized, having the opportunity to play at big events. And Anna is just really, really talented. It wouldn't really surprise me if she at some point joined a mixed team with the men's, and if she actually performs really well in some of these next events against some of the male teams. Honestly, it really wouldn't surprise me. She is extremely talented, and Imperial female, and I was also talking about it on my stream while we were watching the HLTV Awards, that what a smart decision from Imperial to decide to sign this roster, right? To invest in the female scene, to invest in this roster before Valve made any changes. What a vision from the owners and the management from Imperial to decide to take this roster, and then now they are in all the spotlights, right? They are competing big events. They have a great roster. They have, great talent. Amazing. Just amazing. Congratulations to Imperial, and congratulations to Anna and their teammates for sure. And then we have, honestly, the top one was Donk, top two was Monazi, top three was Zaiwu. And here we have the list, right? With all the players, all the chosen ones, and honestly, this one was the biggest surprise for me in my eyes. I put Zaiwu in the second place instead of Monazi, but if you actually consider the way that they choose all this list, and there was a big, it was like the events, 2024 events considered in categories, like they took the results at events and MVPs and EVPs and all that kind of stuff. It mattered a lot to decide this list, right? And if you consider that they decided to choose G2 as the second best team of the year, it made a lot of sense, right? Because honestly, Vitality and Zaiwu hasn't really accomplished much, right? So it only made sense to have Monazi in the second place. But as well, I think that in the next coming years, it would really surprise me if we don't see these three between, top three, top five. If there is one player that could actually surprise and shock the world in the coming years, it would be Kiyosuke from Spirit Academy. I think the kid is really, really talented. Maybe he could at some point challenge these three, but Nico leaving G2 now, and then the rest on this list, I don't really see any of these players really challenging for the top three spots right now. And honestly, I think it's going to be really challenging to challenge, to beat Donk in the for the number one spot, because just the fact that Donk, he was really calm at the HLTV Awards, going on stage, cracking jokes, really collective. It's just impressive, right? How this kid, the patience and the calmness, all everything that he shows in game, he also shows outside of the game, being really calm, collective, and yeah, it just feels like he has no emotions at all, and I think that helps a lot in game as well, that he doesn't really feel pressure, that he's always really calm, rarely commits mistakes. And yeah, I mean, the man himself said in one of his speeches that he wants to be more consistent in 2024. And well, if he finds more consistency than he already did in this year, then it's gonna be really, really scary and really, really tough to beat him in 2025. So, yeah, but surprise, but surprise for me. But at the end of the day, and understanding the way that they decided this the awards, I think it made sense, right? It made sense. So, not really big surprises. A lot of beautiful moments. Again, if you didn't watch it, go and rewatch it because it's totally worth it. And I think that's it, right? So leave it in the comments if there was any surprises for you guys. Was there anything that you found controversial? Do you think Zaiwu should have won second? Should have been second place? Do you agree that Monazzi should be there? Do you agree with the highlights? Do you think JL could have won the highlight? What about Donk winning 4 awards in his first year competing on a high level? Cheers.